Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Dylan, and today I want to talk about Pokemon Scarlet and Violet and the myriad of technical issues that we've seen since the release of this game. But the purpose of this video is not just to point and laugh. I actually do want to talk about why I think this is happening. And this doesn't even stop at Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. I mean, there's a history of Pokemon games not looking the best, graphically, and having some technical issues, especially since coming over to the Switch era. So I want to kind of explore that and talk about it a little bit because it's something that I've been saying for quite a while. So first and foremost, I do want to take a look at a couple of examples of these technical issues, these bugs that we're seeing in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, starting with this one here that is one of the more prominent, and I think one of the first major ones that exploded online. We're going to see here a trainer throwing a Pokeball, trying to catch a Psyduck, and the game just explodes. You're going to see the entire environment basically delete itself in the background and then try to reload all of the textures and the assets. You're going to see the bridge kind of pop back into place, all the textures pop back into place, as well as the frame rate dropping to like 1 when the trainer throws the Pokeball. I mean, this is just as bad as it gets, as game-breaking as it gets, as far as any sense of immersion. You'll say you're into the game, you feel like a Pokemon trainer, you're out to catch them all, and then this happens. Suddenly, you are just completely taken out of the experience entirely. Next, we've got one where I don't know if this is like an instance of multiplayer. I can't tell if this is co-op or that's an NPC that this is happening to. But look at this man. Look at this man, this Attack on Titan looking ass, this friggin' Kevin Durant looking ass. Oh my goodness, this poor man. Look at his face, he's saying, "Kill me, please kill me." I feel so sorry for this NPC, this cooperative buddy that this player seems to have. I don't know what this is, but it's atrocious. And I mean, we're seeing stuff like this all over the place. Here's a third example of just, I don't know what this is. This character model is just breaking out the latest dance craze. I'm not entirely sure, but I mean, this is a thing that's just going on all over the place on my Twitter timeline. I could scroll one time with my thumb, just one swipe, and probably see 5 different Pokemon Scarlet and Violet bugs, glitches, what have you. This is ridiculous. This is absolutely ridiculous when you understand that Pokemon is a $100 billion plus entity when you account for the video games, the trading cards, the anime, the merchandise. Pokemon is far too big of an entity to have a video game release of this quality. So that begs the question, why the heck is this happening? And again, this isn't just about Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. I mean, this is about all Pokemon games, especially in the Switch era. We're seeing this, and I think there are 3 key reasons as to why this is the case. And for reason number 1, as to why these games are looking so shoddy, it's just as easy as pointing at the developer, Game Freak. If you've been watching my content for an extended period of time, back into my Twitch days, you'd know that I do not trust Game Freak worth a flip. I think they're one of the worst developers in gaming, and that's just due to lack of experience. Look at their IP lineup. They've got Pokemon. That's it. that is it. They did develop one game a few years ago called Little Town Hero. I'll put some trailer footage up on the screen right now. They did develop this game. I think visually it looked pretty good, I guess. I don't think it was a very good game. Reviews were not kind to it. Player feedback was not kind to this title, so I guess it's just not a very good game. So that's it. I mean, they've got Pokemon and they got Little Town Hero. They just don't have a lot of experience. And when it comes to the shift to the Nintendo Switch, that is a huge shift in their development strategies. Before, they are on the handheld. They're doing the top-down perspective, pixel sprites, which eventually evolved into the 2D, 3D art style on the DS systems. And now they're being asked to shift over to the home console and do some more expansive, larger scope, third person, in this case, open world experiences. And they just have no experience doing stuff like this. And I was hoping, after playing Pokemon Legends Arceus, which I did very much enjoy, the first Pokemon game I've enjoyed in decades, I was hoping that this might be the step. I played that game and said, I am hopeful for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet at this point, because Legends Arceus was not perfect. It was a fun game, but it was, again, suffers from the graphics aren't that good, the performance ain't that great, you know, the open world itself isn't anything to really sneeze at, you know. But again, it was a great step in the right direction. I was really hopeful for Scarlet and Violet, but we get here and it just seems that they don't have the experience, they don't have the talent to do this, and this is leading into reason number 2. They don't have the time required to make a solid end-to-end Pokemon experience on a home console. So let's go ahead and talk about reason number 2, that being scheduling and Pokemon Company as an entity. Because remember, Pokemon Company is at the top. Then we got Game Freak, who does the video games, and then Nintendo is part of that as well. And the important thing to remember is that the Pokemon video games are not the big money maker. The big money maker for Pokemon Company is the anime, the trading cards, and the merchandise. The video game is just supplementary. That is secondary in their minds when it comes to making money, which is all companies truly care about. And the thing is, all of these different pockets of Pokemon are connected and have to stay in sync with one another. The anime, the trading cards, and the video games all have to be releasing it within the same window of time so that they all match up. The new Pokemon that you see in the video games are also the new Pokemon that you see in the anime, and are also the new Pokemon you see in the trading cards. It would be weird and it wouldn't fit their business model if, you know, you're on one generation for the video games but another generation in the anime and a different generation for the trading cards. They want all of them to be cohesive and together at all times. And that is where the problem lies, because Pokemon Company sets a schedule for these video games to come out annually. You know, we have an annual Pokemon release, but especially these mainline games have to come out at a certain date so that they coincide with the anime and the trading cards and the merchandise. Because if it doesn't, everything will be out of sync, and that's not what Pokemon deems acceptable. And I believe, honestly, the combination of those two, Game Freak and then the scheduling set by Pokemon Company, that is the main issue here. That's the main reason why these games come out looking so, dare I say, half-baked. They could be so much better if Game Freak themselves was maybe more competent, more experienced, maybe if they had more manpower, and also if Pokemon Company was a bit more lenient on the set release dates, maybe allow a delay or two here and there. Make it so that these games aren't being crunched out, because these are like 2 to 3 year development cycles for these mainline games. You know, we might see better products. I would say a video game, especially like a big IP, I want to say first party. Obviously, Pokemon is not first party for Nintendo, but a video game of this stature should at least have 4 years of development. Like, that should be the minimum, I feel. But let's talk about the third reason, and this is the one that I see most prevalent on Twitter and such. That is the Switch hardware. And this is something I've talked about in previous videos as well. We are definitely due for a Switch refresh. We're definitely due for a Switch Pro or a Switch 2. We're at the end of the Switch life cycle. That much is obvious. Do I think the Switch really has much bearing in this? I would say some. Of the 3 reasons I've provided, I think it's probably the least responsible. We've seen games on the Switch that run pretty darn good and look beautiful for what they are. You know, you look at something like Xenoblade 1, 2, and 3 on the Switch. I mean, I know 2 kind of is a little bit rough, but as far as the landscape, the graphics, the visuals, Xenoblade is usually pretty darn good at providing a gorgeous open world experience, and they have roaming monsters in those games as well. So I think that's probably the best comparison when applying to Pokemon. And Pokemon has a simpler art style too. Like, it's very strange to see these games coming out in such a state. And I don't, like I said, I don't really feel like the Switch hardware is much of an excuse. Do I think it plays a little bit of a role? Sure. You know, I'm sure if they were making these Pokemon games for the PS5, you know, maybe they'd have higher frame rates, higher resolution and the such. But ultimately, I feel like it's the first two I listed: Game Freak, their lack of experience and maybe even their lack of skill set, and Pokemon Company being so strict on these deadlines. Will this ever be resolved? I don't think so. I really don't think so. I do believe that Game Freak is trying to appease the fans, listen to feedback. You look at the complaints of Pokemon Sword and Shield, and look what they've done. You know, they corrected a lot of those in Pokemon Legends Arceus, which I feel like was kind of a practice run for them. And now look at, you know, Violet and Scarlet. They're trying to do with Scarlet and Violet what we all wanted them to do with Sword and Shield. You know, they released Sword and Shield, they got a lot of backlash, and now look where we are. They're trying to appease and fix those problems, but again, I think they lack the skill set and they lack the time to properly bring their vision into reality. So no, I don't think these will ever really be fixed. I don't think we're ever going to get out of this issue until two things happen. One, either Pokemon Company for whatever reason becomes a little bit more lenient on their release schedule, or sales drastically decline, which they're not going to do because the casual audience is always going to buy Pokemon. Parents are always going to buy Pokemon for their kids to play. And the diehard Pokemon fans are always going to buy Pokemon no matter what state the game comes out in. Now, there are people like myself who I unplugged my headphones. Oh God. Now, there are people like myself who are going to be turned away from this. I was going to buy Violet. After Legends Arceus, I was like, yeah, I'm willing to give Pokemon another chance, you know, and we'll see what this mainline series can do for me. Because I have not really been into Pokemon since the 90s. I grew up in the golden era of Pokemon. I was born in 94. I got to live through, you know, red and blue were my first versions. It was beautiful. It was amazing. It was incredible. But I haven't really been interested in Pokemon since. And I was really hoping Scarlet and Violet would be that in for me. Arceus was a good stepping stone, but seeing as how these games are running, how these games are performing, I can't justify spending $60 on this product. I just can't do it. And that's for you to decide. You know, you spend your money how you want to spend your money. I will not be buying this game. Maybe once it gets discounted, or if they patch it and improve on what is already there, I'll definitely look into it, because I wanted to play this game, but I just can't do it, man. I just can't do it. So guys, that is going to be it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like, subscribe, comment below. Have you been playing Pokemon Scarlet or Violet? Have you run into many bugs or technical issues? Let me know. Did this turn you away from Pokemon Scarlet or Violet, or did you go ahead and buy it anyways? I'm very curious to hear what you'd have to say. Share the video around, and I guess I'll see you guys on the next one. I appreciate you. Peace.